Rockets fans, it's time to talk. We have a very interesting first round series ahead of us, something I've been dreading since, months into the Thunder starting to play really well and just how the seeding was, matching up. The Thunder are going to play the Rockets in the first round of the playoffs. Well, let's back it up because we haven't spoke to you guys kind of about the Rockets in, maybe a few games now. Obviously, been paying attention. Russ is coming off an injury, and I guess he has a quad injury. They're going to be monitoring it, through the weeks. He might miss a playoff game, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to play his game, even if he's, not 100%. But the Rockets, played some games without him, played some games without Harden. I think everything's fine. Nothing really to worry about, except for Russ. He's got to be back, 100% playing the way he was, the last 2 months of the year. If the team wants to reach its ultimate goals. But they definitely need a healthy Russell Westbrook to beat the Thunder. I think without Russ, this is a bad matchup, or a dangerous matchup, I should say. It puts a lot on Harden to just completely take over the series. I mean, the Thunder have a lot of different players on their team that, contribute, at a high level. It's not just CP3 over there, Shea and Schroeder and Adams and Gallinari, and guys off the bench and making, plays for them, contributions for their team all year long. As where the Rockets, it's really a Russ and James situation. Somebody like Eric Gordon, who just played his first game back, he's been injured all season, but even when he's played, he just hasn't been the same Eric Gordon, so it's a tough matchup, man. I really hope if Russ is healthy, I think we can win. I really do think that they don't have a good matchup for Russ or James. If they're healthy, they're going to be able to win the series. But if Russ misses, let's say Russ misses 2 games, I mean, it could easily be a 1-1 split after 2 games, or a turn for the worse, hopefully not, because, if Russ is not on the floor, teams are going to try to take James out of it, especially in a playoff environment. And again, a team that has multiple guys that can contribute, and make plays. That, I don't know, it could be a lot for the Rockets to handle. So it's just a nightmare, just if the Thunder were to even compete and make it scary, it's going to be so nerve-wracking for myself again. I'm coming from a Russ, fan perspective where, it is what it is. Context is always lost in these kind of conversations, and I always like to bring that, up when discussing players' careers. But another first-round loss, and again to OKC, like the worst thing that could ever happen to Russ. He doesn't deserve that, and I'm hoping, because again, one thing I can admit is someone I've seen Russ's entire career. After his MVP season, he hasn't. It wasn't until the last 2 months in Houston had he got back to that first caliber All NBA kind of performer. After the MVP season, the 2 years with Paul George, he was great and All NBA caliber, but not the very best of Russell Westbrook. He tapped into that this year, and it was great to see. And that's what's going to be needed for them to advance far. But again, talking about the playoffs and just the first round exits, it's been tough to watch because against the Jazz and the Blazers, those were 2 series and coming in, like nothing was guaranteed. But I thought the Thunder could have won those. And they, not all because of Russ, obviously, but they took their L's. And it just would be a tough one to lose, just losing to OKC, even though they are a much different team and a much better team. I've actually been proud, throughout seeing people talk about how OKC's been playing well. I haven't seen a bunch of people try to twist it as a Russ narrative of something that he couldn't do or something like that, or he was holding the team back or anything. And I'm glad I haven't seen that, because it'd be a false narrative, because we can all see that this is a completely different team than Russ played with. They play differently. The roster's different, So again, I just think it's a dangerous matchup. I can talk a little more about in coming weeks, but I kind of just wanted to check in with the Rockets and say anything that they're going to get done, it's going to take a fully healthy Russell Westbrook. That him kind of being injured right now is a little concerning for me. Just, again, I know Russ is going to play through it, but I'm talking about if he's not healthy, are we going to see the Westbrook we've seen in the last couple postseasons, or are we going to see something that we've seen, over his time with the Rockets, which has been a different Russ, which I believe we will see. It's just all scary because it's the first matchup is against the Thunder. He doesn't even get coming off injury, doesn't get around or to ease into anything. He's playing against one of the biggest series of his career now because it's against OKC. So we'll see. It should be fun. It's going to be very interesting. It's already probably the marquee, unless the Blazers end up playing the Lakers. And even if so, it's just it's a very marquee first round matchup. I mean, that's gonna be wild, man. Can't wait to see it. Let me know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all watching this. I'll definitely have videos out for each of the playoff games. And again, if you're new, subscribe. Make sure you leave a like and all this to show support. And thanks for watching.